Let's get salty!
Everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and it's speculation time as we await the announcement of the next expansion, and I have a pretty solid theory as to why I believe it will be announced next week alongside at least one event. Kind of coincides with some of the leaks we've been hearing about, but overall I just have a lot of evidence, I think, that just makes sense as to why we're going to hear an announcement much sooner than we would normally expect. Also want to give you guys a preview of the two new portraits put in the Hearthstone shop just today if you want to get an idea of what they look like in case you want to purchase them, as well as some other odds and ends regarding the Hearthstone client. I do want to give a friendly reminder, if you feel like I've earned your subscription, you want to help support the channel, please drop a subscription down below, give the video a like. It helps us out a ton, especially as we're on the road to 60,000 subscribers. So why do I think we're gonna get an expansion announcement right away, like next week, pretty early? It's not even November, and if you take a look historically when Hearthstone expansions come out, we are looking at the first week of December, with only Madness at the Darkmoon Fair coming out November 17th, kind of mid-December, the earliest. Every other one was like first or second week of December, but that doesn't really limit when they're gonna announce it. Maybe they've got something big in mind, want to hype it up for a bit longer, or it just ties up with the patch, and that's kind of what I'm thinking, because if you take a look at the patch notes, the most recent patch notes, they basically said, by the way, this patch was a hotfix, not a major patch. They go in 0.2. This was basically an add-on to 24.4. It was 0.3 of that. 24.6 is the next patch, and they've already said we have something fun coming in patch 24.6. And well, 24.6, if you didn't know, the 0.6 patch of every expansion includes the expansion pre-order for the next expansion. What we have to do is look at 23.6. We had the pre-purchase at Murder at Castle Nathria, so I would highly expect whatever the next expansion is. Follow this, and Ixar's already confirmed this in AMAs is how it goes. So why do I think this patch is going to get announced or possibly come out next week? Well, because we haven't got Hallow's End yet. And this is a big deal. Hallow's End has not occurred yet. It's the event that happens every Halloween. It's been going on since 2017. It typically begins at the later part of October. It had started October 24th, 17th. In 2019, it was even earlier, the 8th. We had 1 year start on the 29th, and before Halloween even started. But last year, it began on October 19th with Dual Class Arena, I believe, not even starting until after Halloween. It was kind of bizarre. But Hallow's End, unless they're ditching it, and this would probably ruin my theory, they basically have to eliminate Hallow's End, because it's got to come basically next week. It has never started in November, and if you take a look at the calendar, next week is the last week of October outside of the 31st, which is the Monday after that. So my prediction is all tied into this, that we're going to get Hallow's End, and if the rumors are true, we might get another wild event to tie in to the whole rumor of going around of Death Knights being added to Hearthstone. The Death Knight class, an 11th class. That's the rumor. I mean, it's Regis finally kind of speculating a little bit, but it would make sense that Hallow's End would be announced, that it probably ties in, I mean, kind of spooky. You can even tie it into Death Knights if that's really what's going to happen. And yes, I think next week we will get that announcement, and I think that'll create a lot of hype, because right now, if you look right now, the game's kind of a drag. We have the latest balance patch here, but the mini set itself just did not really spice things up a lot. The meta is very samey outside of Paladin getting a good boost. Another reason why I think my theory might be correct of the early announcement is, well, if you remember with the Demon Hunter introduction, when the Demon Hunter was introduced, and again, this all goes with the Death Knights are actually happening, which, I mean, there's just so much evidence. Everyone's saying it. We're going to stick with it until we're all wrong. But regardless, I would expect that they would have something similar to the Demon Hunter content. Ashes of Outland had this prologue, which originally you would unlock the prologue, and I think the story opened up as we got closer to the expansion. I'd have to actually look back and see exactly how they did it, because it helped build up the lore. It helped introduce players into basically how you're going to play this class, what kind of cards they're going to have. It was really cool. It was really fun, got the hype going, and I would be very surprised that if they are adding a new class that they don't go down the same route. And we have seen a lack of story content. We got absolutely no solo content for this latest expansion after we saw like the whole Book of Phelan, Book of Mercenaries, Book of Heroes before. It would make sense that maybe they've diverted that stuff to this secret little thing about Death Knight. So I think that there's a good shot that something like this could very well accompany 24.6's patch announcement to introduce that new class. If it does happen, and my god, we're gonna look pretty silly if it doesn't, but I mean, what else are we doing here? We're speculating. That mini set, pretty dull. We'll have to wait and see, but overall, I'd love to hear if you guys think it's actually gonna happen, or is this just another Pandaria expansion with the monk class incident like we had back in April when we all looked, well, kind of stupid. And in regards to the Hearthstone shop and all the updates going on in the game, there was a bit of an update this week. If you go into the shop, this is on my EU account where I haven't purchased it yet. Yes, the scrolling thing is still going on. We have this seriously sweet bundle. This is a bundle that contains a rogue portrait. It's called Marshmallow Maiev. All about these food things. Her animation emotes and portrait and all that stuff looks like this.
Maiev versus Jaina.
You asked for it.
I will roast you. Greetings to you. You are no pushover. I am grateful. Stellar. I don't know what that was. Things that are soft and squishy are easily charred. Smart moves, I concede.
There's also a druid portrait in Apple Arana, and her hero power animation, all that stuff looks like this.
Arana versus Jaina.
You asked for it.
Get ready for your just desserts. It is great to see you. You make this all worthwhile. Thanks for being here. An extraordinary flavor. Did that turn out right? If you say my sister's a better baker, you'll regret it.
I must withdraw.
You'll note none of them have entrance animations or anything special. That's only that Reno one that really looked pretty cool. Gotta say, pretty disappointing, but if you like the artwork or you want the value of these standard packs, these class packs, which just not really great value, you can definitely give it a check out. But yeah, overall, I haven't really been impressed lately by the portraits outside of Reno, or I guess Burger Uther is just kind of silly and stupid. So I kind of like that one, but overall, yeah, I'd probably pass unless you really like them. Another thing I wanted to note is they're actually updating the Battlegrounds shop. I find personally it's hard to see it because you have to go in the Battlegrounds menu itself. You have to notice this little exclamation mark, and then you go in there, and they typically, it's personalized per person. This looks different on my America's account, but they have like these portraits that are only 100 runestones each, but I mean technically they're 500 runestones because you have to buy in 500s, but regardless, I mean 100 runestones. I wish we had portraits like this in the shop for regular Hearthstone where you can get like for 100, 200, whatever. They're in there, so I do want to give that heads up that if you are looking at purchasing Battlegrounds cosmetics for whatever reason, they are tucked away. They are updating them almost weekly. It's just kind of hard to tell. I don't know if it's something we should complain about, because do we really want more pop-ups and notifications in game to buy this stuff? But overall, it's there, and you know, they're plain images. They're not animated, anything like that. But yeah, like 100 runestones, they're really not that bad. So I just thought I would mention at least that if you want to check it out, they are there. So we'll have to wait and see if next week we're to find out about a new expansion, a new class, new Hallow Zen event, or maybe absolutely nothing. Who knows? But I thought it'd be fun to share some theories, and there's just so much rumors going around, and let's be honest, it's always fun to get hyped about new content, even if we don't know what the hell it's gonna be. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day, and stay salty, my friends.